feels like it's been forever since I've filmed a sit-down video. I need to stop doing this in my videos. I got my planner here and I've had quite a few videos planned that I've been wanting to get filmed. We're making time for them. I swear, I don't know why it takes me like 5 tries to start my videos because I just keep getting interrupted. There's background noise. Let's just ignore it. Today's video, guys, it's gonna be about a really serious topic. Boobs. Yeah, I'm so kidding. But today's video is gonna be all about boobs, breastfeeding, babies, milk. I have been talking about filming this video for what feels like forever. So I'm gonna talk about my journey and my experience with breastfeeding, and then I will go over any like tips or advice that I have for anyone out there that wants to hear it. To start off with, I guess I should introduce myself just in case you guys are new here. My name's Daisy. I am 22 years old. I live in California and I have a 16-month-old son. His name's Jayden, and yeah, I make like tons of different videos on here, anywhere from like mommy videos to vlogs, lifestyle. We do some challenges. I try to do some pranks here and there. They're not the best, but I try. So if you guys want to join the family, go ahead and subscribe. I would appreciate it if you did subscribe. So the point of this is just, you know, all about breastfeeding. So like I said, my son is 16 months old, which is crazy. Like, where did the time go? I do not know. Like, I feel like I just had him. I have breastfed my son for 16 months and I am so happy about that and so thankful for that. He has never had a sip of formula in his life. Thank God I never needed to really supplement with anything. I was really lucky that my milk supply was good and we got him latched. Breastfeeding isn't easy and it's not just all rainbows and sunshine, and no, like, breastfeeding is hard. It takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of dedication, and I feel like I don't know, I just feel like it definitely takes a lot. It takes a lot, period. I feel like I gave up so much to breastfeed and I don't regret any of it at all. But just know that it is hard, but it is doable, and if you want to breastfeed, it is possible. I had my son 2 weeks early, so when he was born 6 pounds and 3 ounces, so he was pretty small. About like what, 30-40 minutes after I had him, we did some skin to skin, and then they moved me to like the room I was gonna stay in at the hospital, and then right away the nurse told me to try and feed him, and it was not easy. The first 2 days were really hard and it was so embarrassing because I felt like I couldn't do it alone at all. I had watched videos. I even took like a breastfeeding lactation class before even having him, and like as much as you can like prepare, nothing prepares you enough, I feel like. So it was definitely really hard and frustrating because I couldn't get him to latch at all. It was really annoying and overwhelming, and everybody was trying to help me. No, not everybody, but my boyfriend was trying to help me, my mom was trying to help me, and I was just like getting irritated. Like, I think I was worse those first 2 days than I was like the entire time I was in labor. I was like chilling, but then once I had him and I was trying to breastfeed him, like, I was getting so frustrated, so stressed. Every little thing was irritating me, and I was a little bitch, honestly. Like, I just was getting so freaking mad that I couldn't get my own child to latch, and I was like, oh my gosh, is he drinking enough? And I had to keep calling in the nurses every single time. Like, I don't think I got him to latch once on my own in the hospital those first 2 days, which is, it's okay. Just know if that's what you're going through, it is okay. But in the moment, like, I felt like so embarrassed and I just didn't like asking for help. But at the end of the day, like, I just did it because I rather feel a little embarrassed that I need to ask for help, but my son get fed rather than like not ask for help and him not get fed at all. Once we would get him to latch in the hospital, he would fall asleep a lot, so that was a struggle. I had to really kind of like wake him up and keep him on the boob to make sure that, you know, he was eating. I am so lucky. My hospital offered a lactation consultant and I did not pass on that. I was like, yeah, sign me up, please have her come visit me in my room. So she came in, and you know, once you have a baby, like there's nothing off limits. So right away, you know, just pop your boobs out. And she wanted me to show her how I was trying to latch him, and then she basically told me everything that I did wrong, and I did not care. I was like, please help me, because I'm gonna go home with this baby and I need to know what I'm doing. So I took as much advice as I can from her. My boyfriend was in the room literally right next to me, and he was soaking up as much information as he could too, so that when we are dealing with this on our own, we can handle the situation. So she really helped me out a lot. And then also she basically, like right before she was leaving, she told me don't forget to pump every 2 hours. And I was like, I don't have a breast pump, we haven't purchased one yet. And she told me, don't worry about it, I will deal with your insurance, get you signed up, and the day you get home from the hospital, they will mail it to your house and it will be there. She was so sweet. She got me a free breast pump to use for, like, I think it was 3 months, and it was hospital grade, and it was a really good breast pump, and I'm so thankful. I didn't have to pay a single dime for that. I don't know, even before having Jayden, I tried signing up through this website to get my insurance to cover it, and they never got back to me, so I figured, okay, it's probably just not covered. But that lactation consultant was an angel, and she just like took care of everything for me. So literally the day I left the hospital, got home, the breast pump was like on my bed waiting for me. Amazing. So personally, my milk didn't come in until I think it was like day 4, and that could be kind of frustrating. I don't know, I didn't get too stressed out about that, because like in my head, like I just knew it was gonna come. There's no way that it won't come, you know. And like obviously even the minute you give birth, like you have milk in there. It's just, I think it takes a while for your body to like actually start like pushing it out, but it's important. Just keep feeding your kid in the hospital. I did every 2 hours. Do whatever your baby needs. Even like the first few days you feel like you don't have milk and they're not getting anything, like there's colostrum, guys. Colostrum is liquid gold. When I felt like nothing was coming out, the lactation consultant literally gave me this pack, and it had like a little, literally just had a plastic spoon. She got the plastic spoon and she showed me how to express milk out, and a lot of milk came out, and it was like liquid cold yellow, and she literally just spooned it in Jayden's mouth. I was like, okay, so there is milk. And she told me if I'm really concerned, like just do that and put it in his mouth and he will be getting enough milk. So that's what I did the first 2 days. Like if I really felt like he wasn't getting enough, I just did that. I feel like I'm skipping some things here and there. If you're curious as to how my mental health was those few days, yeah, I had like mental breakdowns, multiple mental breakdowns. Like I would just sit there and cry because I was so like stressed out, but I was so happy. My heart was so full. The first 2 weeks were hell. They were the worst, and I mean like the pain was the worst. We're talking about boobs, so it's gonna get TMI, but basically my nipples were in pain, like so much pain. It got to the point where like every freaking feeding I was crying, sitting there crying while feeding him. So painful, guys, so painful. And the only thing I really did about it was put some lanolin on them and just dealt with it. After 2 weeks I felt nothing. Like your boobs just get used to it and it doesn't hurt. I don't want to scare people into not breastfeeding just because of how painful the first 2 weeks are, but you just think about it. Like my mental state was like, dude, you just delivered a freaking baby that you carried for freaking 9 months. You can do this. So that was my like mentality basically. I did have to introduce the pacifier to Jayden at 3 days old, and I remember we were out, I don't know where we were, I think we had taken him to his doctor's appointment, and I had told them that like it's really painful. I had explained that he was feeding every hour to every 30 minutes, like non-stop. Like that's the only thing that would get him to stop screaming his head off. And she told me that's called cluster feeding, and she had told me that it'd probably be a good idea to introduce him to the passy to try and give my boobs a break. And I really didn't want to give him a passy, but I did have a stash ready, like if I needed to give them to him. I was just like, we'll see how it goes the first few days, and if he doesn't need the passy, we're not gonna give it to him. But all of you that know my son, like actually know him present day, you guys know he's like the biggest passy boy in the world. At 3 days old, we were in the car, he was screaming his head off, and I was sitting there crying because we're not home. I cannot give him boob when we're driving in a moving vehicle. Like it wasn't possible. So I was just sitting there crying, and my boyfriend was like, give him the pacifier, give him the pacifier. And I didn't want to give it to him, but I did. And I was sitting in the back seat crying, staring at him take his passy, and it shut him right up. Like, I seriously suck at story times, guys. I'm so sorry. Even with my notes, I feel like I'm making like nonsense basically. On average, he did feed every 2 hours, and in the middle of the night he would wake up like 3 to 4 times. And I was pretty good, I'd say, about staying awake the first like 2-3 months. But after that, I started to like, the sleep deprivation I think got to me so badly. Like here's a picture of how bad my eye bags looked, but I was like so tired. I remember almost falling off the bed like 2 times, like because I would sit up in bed as straight as I could and feed him, and I'd have the boppy under him, and I don't know, I think I just started leaning to the side where the like where you get off the bed. I started leaning and literally almost fell in the middle of the night. That's not safe. And then since I was pumping regularly, I was crazy. I was paranoid that I wasn't gonna have enough milk for when I had to go back to work, so I would pump after every single one of his feedings basically. So I'd feed him on this side, then I would hand him to his dad, and then I'd pump. By 3 months, every time I'd pump, I'd get like at least minimum 18 ounces, which is a lot of milk, you know. So I had a huge freezer stash. We had to buy like just a freezer chest just dedicated to my milk, and that thing was absolutely full. I posted a video when we bought that. I don't know if it's still, I mean, I'm sure it's still up. I don't know if it's on public or private. I'll check and see like a comparison of my milk from like the first few weeks to like a few months out. But I had a huge stash, and that is something that I am very proud about. Obviously it's gone. One time I remember sitting there with my, I don't even know the terms. I am sorry. Let me grab it so you guys don't think I'm stupid. So I had this on my boob, obviously, and I was pumping, and I was using one of the, I think it's 5-ounce bottles that was connected to this on both sides. And I was just sitting there, and obviously it's the middle of the night, like what, 2-3 in the morning. I was exhausted, and I guess I fell asleep like sitting up with those on my boobs, and literally I don't know how long it was on, but I guess I had fallen asleep. The machine was still on, and I woke up because I felt all this warmth like on my thighs and like my butt, and I was like, oh shit, did I pee myself or what's going on? And then I look down and I see the machine still on. The bottles are completely full, overflowing. So like once the bottle gets full, there's this little hole right here. So once it's full, like the milk will just keep coming out of here, and that's what happened. And I don't know how long it was on, but there was milk everywhere. So that was great. That's pretty much all my notes on my journey. Basically, I'm done breastfeeding. I haven't breastfed my son in about 16 days, so a little over 2 weeks, and he's completely weaned. I will make a whole separate video on that because I feel like this video is going to be 100 hours long if I put everything together. So I'd rather just like make it short and straight to the point for you guys. So I know I said that this is going to be all that in one, but it's not. I apologize. So if you guys want to hear any advice, tips I have for you, because I have a whole list. Like, this is my list for advice. This is my journey. So if you guys want to see that video is going to be posted next after this video is uploaded. So definitely subscribe if you guys want to see that. If you enjoyed hearing my really bad storytelling, please just give this a thumbs up. I apologize. I know I'm just a mess. I'm a hot mess, and that's okay. But I really appreciate you guys watching this, because some people wouldn't be able to sit through me talking because I talk too much and I make no sense. Okay, I'm done. Thanks for watching.